the added incentive, I suppose, of if we go and win the game, then we open that up to a 7-point gap, and given our goal difference as well, that would, almost make it an 8-point gap. So yeah, I mean, look, we're feeling really good about ourselves going into the game. We've been on a decent run of form. I think there's probably more added pressure for Raith Rovers in this particular moment, given the really poor run of form that they're on. Them being the home team as well, I think their fans will be demanding a performance given what's happened in recent weeks.
So will United fans, though, because they will see this as a huge opportunity to put your closest rivals at the moment down a little bit in terms of the momentum that they might feel they need to gather to try and catch you again.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the stadium is sold out by all accounts, which I think is great credit to both sets of supporters. And we're going to have a big travelling support there as well. So, of course, in every game we go into, we want to try and entertain our fans, and we want to, repay the faith that they've shown the club this season in particular. But especially on the road, they've travelled in great numbers everywhere that we've went, and it's a huge game. We know that, but it's my job as manager to try and take that extra pressure away from the players and just ask them to go out and play their normal game. Both fixtures that we've played against Raith up to now have been very, very close games. We drew the first one obviously over there, and they narrowly beat us 1-0 here the last time. So we'd certainly like to go and even that up by taking maximum points tomorrow night.
Do you feel the momentum building every week here at Tannadice?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's still more to come from this group. I think we could be a little bit more consistent. The performance down at Ayr in the last game, I think conditions really played a part for both teams. It was terrible weather on the day, but one thing I've got to credit my players for is, regardless of home or away, regardless of surface, regardless of weather conditions, they more often than not have found a way to get a positive result, and that's what we're asking them to do tomorrow night. We have to be disciplined defensively. We've shown that throughout the course of the campaign. We've got the best defensive record, but even more so tomorrow with the quality that Raith Rovers have got in the forward areas. We have to make sure the concentration levels are there and work hard for each other, but then we've got to go and impose ourselves on them as well and play our football and get the ball down and try and have some control in the game in terms of possession and carry that attacking threat that we have done throughout the course of the season.
You've got some big players in your squad who have played in some big games, so when they walk out onto that pitch tomorrow, the atmosphere certainly shouldn't spook them, but it should make them aware and maybe help some of the younger lads just and how to cope with an atmosphere like it will be tomorrow night.
I think you always rely heavily on your senior players in any squad, and those guys deserve a lot of credit, for what they've done up to now in terms of managing the group. Me as manager, I'm not in that dressing room, 4 or 5 hours a day, and you look to the likes of, Louis Moulton, Gallagher and Docherty, Sibbald, Tony Watt, those guys to manage that properly and make sure that everybody is being disciplined and doing what's expected of them. But absolutely, in games like tomorrow night where there's so much riding on it, and how big the occasion is, it's good for those guys to be in there to be able to calm the younger ones down and not have them getting too excited. But we've treated it as any other game really in our build-up. We've not been over-egging it to the players. We just want them to go out there, be relaxed and give the best account of themselves really.
Finally for me then, Gallagher, you mentioned him, is he fit?
Yeah, he's trained really well this week. Obviously, he's been out for a number of weeks and hasn't got any match fitness, but we do have a decision to make on him later on this afternoon. With that said, I've got to give great credit to Ross Graham for stepping into his position. Both himself and Kevin Holt have done really, really well in recent weeks. So it's the kind of difficult decision that you want as a manager. We've had real struggles throughout the course of the season with injuries and missing key players, and any time we've turned to the squad and asked someone to go in and do a job, they've always stood up to it. And we're very lucky to be in the position that we're in now, that we've got pretty much a fully fit squad to choose from going into the most important time of the season.
How important is Ross Docherty's return being to the team?
Well, he's our captain, he's our leader on and off the pitch. He's had a really difficult period given the amount of injuries that he has had and the amount of football that he's missed. But yeah, we're delighted to have him back involved, and I think he's shown his influence on the team in the last couple of games that he's played. We've had to try and manage him as best we can. He's not played a full 90 yet, but yeah, very important player for us.
And how much growth are you seeing in the younger players being exposed to a title race and the pressure of being part of Dundee United?
Well, all we've ever asked them is to enjoy it and to relish it, and not to tighten up and be nervous about the situation, but to actually really go out and express themselves and don't worry about making mistakes. I think that's the most important thing and the most important message that you can give to young players. You want them to go out there and express themselves and play to their strengths. And I don't think there'll be too many teams out there, and I think I've said this previously, that have got as many young academy graduates playing as often as what we do here at Dundee United, and we're very proud of that, because the academy is a very important part of our club, and the coaches over there do an incredible job to try and identify the best young talent in the area, and then it's up to me as manager to decide when these players are ready and to give them the opportunity playing senior football. And some of them have really stepped up to the plate. The likes of Kai Fotheringham, obviously, has had a brilliant season for us. Ross Graham, I just mentioned, playing at the back, having come through the academy, and there's a number of other players as well who have played a significant role. So yeah, it's been a real collected effort. I think we've got the balance right within the squad. I think the recruitment was so important for us in the summer, given some of the big names that we lost in the summer, having to try and balance the books. But I think we've done really well to get some good experienced players into the group. Added to that, some really good young, energetic, quality players that have got so much room for development. And a lot of the time with these young lads, they're fearless. They just want to go out and enjoy their football, and that's all we're asking of them tomorrow night.
And you mentioned a wee bit at the start there, but quite a lot of travelling fans coming along to support the side. How much encouragement does that give the team?
Well, they play a huge part. They really do. When they get behind the team and they encourage the team, and they really can be that extra man, if you like. And the travelling fans in particular have been outstanding. For 90 minutes you hear them throughout the course of the game, whether we go a goal behind or a goal in front. They never change, and I think they've played a huge part in how good our away form has been all season. Our points return on the road has been incredible. Something that we're continuing to try and improve here at home at Tannadice, but they will play a significant role tomorrow night, and we're very grateful to them for turning out in such large numbers.
Are you surprised at all that at this point of the season that Raith Rovers are so close to where United are at the top of the league?
I'm not surprised at all, no. I mean, obviously before the ball was kicked this season, we were huge favourites, and rightly so. We are the biggest club in the league, and probably do have the biggest budget as well that goes with that, and that does add to the pressure, and that adds to the level of expectation, and that's probably something that the players deserve a lot of credit for as well, being able to handle that expectation of being favourites. But I'm not surprised in the slightest that Raith Rovers are where they are. I thought they slipped under the radar a little bit in pre-season. I saw the quality of player that Ian Murray was bringing to the club. I think their recruitment's been very good. They have got some very good experienced players that have played at a high level, and full credit to them for making a real title race of it. One club I think that people probably aren't giving too much attention to has been Partick Thistle, and they're still on a great run, and they're now breathing down the necks of Raith Rovers. So I think as much as Raith have got one eye on looking at us and trying to catch us, I think they'll be looking over their shoulders now at the moment off the back of 5 straight defeats, and Partick will probably be taking great encouragement from that. So I think it's it makes for a great league. I think it's a great advertisement to the Championship as well, given how good the league has been, the standard, the competition in every game. There's no easy games, and tomorrow night live on the telly, a full house. I think it's brilliant for the league, and it just shows you how big the two clubs are as well. So both teams desperate to get back into the Premier League, because probably we both feel that's where we belong.
Has there been any disappointment at all within the club that not only Raith Rovers but Partick Thistle and Greenock Morton are so close, with the defensive record that United have had and the games that they've won? Is it been disappointing that you haven't been able to shake these other teams off?
No, I wouldn't say it's disappointing. I think in most years, gone by, given our run of form and what we've done up to now, we probably would have a bit more of a cushion, possibly 9 or 10 points cleared if you look back at previous seasons. But no, I think it's good having teams in and around you. I think it keeps you on your toes. I think it keeps the concentration levels up, and I think competition is healthy. Both in our squad, competition for places, but also in the league. I think you want that. I think you want a team to go and challenge you and push you, and you find out a lot about your players as well in those situations about can they handle pressure situations. And if we're serious about trying to go and win this league and trying to become a Premier League club again, then you need to make sure those players that are coming up into the Premier League with you can handle those stressful situations, which they have up to now.
You've been obviously training on the RPC with the AstroTurf etc. this week. Does that affect the team selection that you're going to have, and what is your team news for tomorrow night?
No, not at all. I mean, we train up at St Andrews University, and we've got a great relationship with the uni, and fantastic complex. The facilities that are available to us up there, are second to none. There's not many clubs out there, I don't think, that have got better facilities than what we have on a regular basis. But this morning we went into the RPC. It's an AstroTurf pitch. We trained indoor. Gives us a bit of privacy as well, which is something that maybe we are lacking a little bit up at St Andrews with it being such an open place. But this morning we just felt it was a good opportunity to make use of that great facility that we have up the road.